Today I have Mr. Johnny Lynham with me, and today I'm going to be interviewing him so that we can get a better understanding. First and foremost, who is Johnny? Where does he come from? What got him started in real estate investing? And then we're going to do a second interview where he's going to go deeper into what can you expect to get from him if you work with him. So Johnny, thank you again for being here. First question is, tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from and what got you started in real estate?
Awesome. Yeah. So for me, it originally from Alabama, grew up there, graduated from University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and kind of came from humble beginnings. My dad was a pastor. He was an entrepreneur, had his own television appliance repair business. My mom, she was a phlebotomist, worked in the lab for well over 20 years, and just working in different hospitals. And so they kind of instilled in me just the values of, hard work, go and get a job and, and build a life and kind of save a little bit of money and kind of go through that process. And, even though my dad was an entrepreneur, that, he served in the Army. And, for me, coming out of high school, I joined up with the Air Force through Air Force ROTC, got a scholarship. They paid for me to go to school, and that kind of started my journey. But always in the back of my mind, entrepreneurship was something I was always fond of, just being able to take something, buy something cheap, add value, or, be able to sell it for a higher price. And, and that's kind of always stuck with me. And then when I got into the military and real estate in particular, I used my VA loan after being in a year and bought my first property. And then after that, I was just hooked. I was just started consuming a lot of information online, whether it was forums. I joined my local real estate investor meetup, and we'll go there once a month to kind of hang out with them, just kind of soaking it all in. I became a sponge. And, and that started my journey in real estate investing. And after that, I, continued to relocate with the military. I bought a foreclosure, used my VA loan again. And then I did.
What year did you start? What year did you start real estate investing?
Yeah, so 2006 was the first year that I bought my first property. And then from there, we bought another property in 2011, 2013. 2013 is the first time I bought my true rental that I didn't live in, before me, because I didn't have a lot of income, a lot of money up front. With the VA loan, I didn't have to put any money down. And so we did that to buy our first few houses. And then I bought my first true rental property for $25,000 in Birmingham, Alabama. And it was rented out for $750. And so I kind of started down that process. And then a couple of years later, we sold that in another house that we had purchased there and started flipping. That was the seed capital that we used for the down payment on our first flip. And from there, the journey's been amazing to the point now where, we've owned over 100 plus units in real estate right now. And the portfolio is over $10 million. So it's definitely been a blessing and kind of scaled up fast here.
Congratulations on that. No, that's amazing. So let me make sure I understand this. You're still active duty, aren't you?
Yeah. Yep. Still active duty. 17
So
years.
you've got a full-time job and you're still doing real estate investing and you've gotten to 100 properties at 10 mil.
Yes.
Boy, I guess a lot of excuses went out the window for a lot of people watching this, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. And it really comes down, and I always do like, man, how do you find the time? Because I got a beautiful wife and 3 kids, and I'm a present husband and a present father, and I don't miss soccer games. And it comes down to having your time prioritized, having your calendar. Because I always tell people, you show me your calendar, you're gonna show me your priorities. And it's just a matter of keeping the things that are most important, those things that you regard at the highest level for as your values, your goals, and making sure that everything that you do with your time, the small amount of time that we have allotted, that we're always living on purpose. We're always doing things that kind of get to that bottom line, whether it's serving our family, serving our business, or in my case, serving my coaching clients, or centered around real estate. So, and building wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. So help me understand, and for our viewers, how important is mindset? What has that played, and what role has that played in your success?
Mindset is, excuse me, it's by far number one. I didn't know it, looking back on it, it's like I could have got to this feat probably in half the time if my mindset was right. And a lot of it was just limiting beliefs from growing up in a household where we had to work hard for our money, And I saw, that whole relationship with trading time for money. And it was hard to even, to break loose of that mindset, that understanding that the wealthy, they don't trade their time for money, that they look at how they can leverage other people's time, and they look how they can buy time with their money. And that was something that I didn't learn until, just a few years ago, just that relationship with money. But the mindset piece for me was just being able to be disciplined. I picked that up in the military, and just that whole piece that comes with it, the mindset, because I see how a lot of military investors are able to achieve a lot. And I think that discipline and accountability and that mindset, just from that perspective, that a lot of people in the civilian world don't necessarily get that from corporate America or from just a normal job. And but mindset is number one. That's the first piece that I teach in my program. And I'm actually adding some things to it, some pillars to it, because it's so critical to success for those that achieve and those that don't, is that just understanding that they have that faith and determination in themselves first, and understand that, hey, that there's nothing that separates myself from anyone else or any other successful person, Elon Musk or anyone else. It all starts with an idea and that mind that, hey, that I can achieve this, and now let's go figure out the pieces that need to come into play in order for me to make it successful. And that's the only thing that really separates us from achieving anything that we want to in life is our mind, and us believing it in our head first.
Absolutely. And right alongside that, personal development, talk a little bit about that.
No, personal development, it goes without saying. You look at all high performers, you look at LeBron James, that just Michael Jordan, they all had coaches. You look at Tiger Woods, he has multiple swing coaches. He has a dietitian that coaches him on his food, his training plan, his swing coach. You just name all these elite people that operate at a high level, that they all have coaches. They have people that's pushing them, that's driving their success. Whereas that real estate is no different. Real estate is a team sport, because you're going to lean on a lot of different professionals in order for you to be successful in real estate. And whether you're at the single family level, you want to wholesale real estate, you want to buy apartments, you want to buy self-storage, or you just want to pick up some rentals here and there, you got to have attorneys, you got to have realtors, you got to have your lenders, you got to have your contractors that are doing work, you got to have your property inspectors, your appraisers. There's so many people that go into one real estate transaction. And so now all these people are professionals. If you're hiring the right people, they've all got a great experience. And now, as a real estate investor, you want to leverage their expertise to make you successful. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I think it's 50 Cent that had the quote that he didn't go to school at Harvard, but plenty of the people that work for him did. And I think that's the thing, where it's being able to leverage the expertise of professionals goes into that professional development. And you got to be able to read books. I got my bookshelf right here full of books. Earlier this week, I ordered 7 books from Amazon. It was like I went to professional development, went to hear the speaker speak, and he shared some books that he read. I'm like, I hadn't read these books. I got to get these books. And so that's the thing with professional development. You got to continuously be growing, continue to learn, and to move the needle in your life, whether it's investing or it's just being a better husband, being a better person in life. That the only way that we're going to get smarter is by knowing that we don't know it all, and continue to just grow.
Absolutely. Well, guys, you heard it there. You heard it here first. This is the first video. This is Johnny Lynam's background. Really who he is exactly what he just shared with you. It's about understanding, what do you need to surround yourself with, making sure that you're disciplined, making sure that you've got goals. So we're going to do the second half of this video, where he's going to talk more about the pillars that he has established, and then how can he help you to achieve the success that you want. So stay tuned. We're coming right back. All right, guys, so we are back. This is video number 2, where I'm interviewing Mr. Johnny Lynam. And on this video, we're going to talk about the pillars that he has established in his business, and then how can he help you guys achieve more success. Obviously, he's gotten all the excuses out of his life, as you can probably tell from the first video. So if you are living with excuses, it's time to dump those things. They're absolutely not serving you. They're not going to get you to where you want to be. So Johnny, thank you again for being here. So let's start with these pillars. I've heard so much of these pillars. Tell our viewers what these pillars are and what do they mean for your business.
Yeah, these pillars are essentially they're the foundation. that every strong building needs a strong foundation, because if you're building on sand, it's like the Bible says, you're eventually gonna crumble. But if you're building on rock, on a firm soil, then you're gonna be able to withstand any trials, anything that happens in your life. And guess what? Whether you're going after your dreams or you're not, life is still gonna happen to you. So you might as well be trying to live out your dreams and doing everything in your power. But for me, the pillars when it comes to on a personal scale is family, is being able to support my family, be there for my family, my spirituality, with being a believer in Jesus Christ, and and everything that comes with it. Because a lot of these business secrets and tips and fundamentals, it's all stuff is biblical based.
Yeah.
That the Bible is the great instructor on
The
how to live
equalizer.
life. Yeah, it is. And it's nothing new under the sun, and that it gives you a lot of these principles that you can apply to business. And I think my mission, is to kind of go one level up, is now how do I pour in more people? And so, family, spirituality, and then, being able to help other people achieve their goals. And that's what it's all about. And, when you start talking about the pillars of the real estate side, my find, fix, finish framework is kind of what we built. We built this around, where is that you keep it simple and you break it down, where is that you got to learn how to find real estate. You got to know how to make the repairs, fix it. Whereas that now you bring it up to retail, and then you got to finish the project. You just got to figure out whatever your exit strategy is. Do you want to keep it? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to sell it on terms? Do you want to refinance it? It's just figure out that exit strategy and just keep it really simple. Find, fix, finish, and it's simple and it works. And and that's one of the things that I picked that up from my counterterrorism days, in the military, with how we approach missions. And it's like, okay, how do I bring this simplicity that we have with how we execute our missions and bring this to real estate investing? And so that was kind of the pinnacle of it all, and kind of came with that framework that we brought it all together.
Awesome. I love that. Who's your ideal student, Johnny?
My ideal student is somebody that's coachable, that understands, and I won't even say they understand what they want, because a lot of times that some people that come in, they don't necessarily know what it is they want, but we kind of help them go through and come up with a strategy and understand, hey, what does success mean for you? And 5, 10 years, 20 years from now, what does that look like? And how can real estate serve you in accomplishing that goal? Because real estate is just simply a vehicle. There's multiple vehicles out there to get you where you want to go. So the thing is, we got to leverage real estate for the vehicle that it is to get there. And so somebody that's coachable, they know what their goal is, what they want, and somebody that's ready to put in the work. Because I think one of the misnomers that we have out there is that, it's an easy button. A lot of people, they romanticize with real estate and think, oh, it's done for you. You can do it without money. You can do it, without putting in time. It's like, no, it's actually some work involved with real estate investing and being able to be successful and do it at a high level. But it's definitely doable. It's something that can achieve. I met people that smarter than me and people that's not as smart as me that's successful at it, doing it. So, it's nothing that you can't learn. The math that we use to evaluate deals is 5th grade math. And I know a lot of people are intimidated by the math sometimes, but it's 5th grade math, and it's definitely something that you can learn, and it's something achievable. I think somebody that's ready to take action, that's someone that's hungry, and somebody that's coachable, that's going to listen, and somebody that's ready to do the work.
Got it. So I know that for someone to have success in any endeavor, there's got to be this hunger, right? This hunger to absolutely want to follow through. And I know for a lot of people, following through is an issue. That's an issue for them. How do you address that? For someone that's watching right now, it's saying, man, I've started so many things, but I'm having such a hard time following through because of fear, because of intimidation, because of that self-talk that's going on in their head. What would you say to them?
That's a great question, because we've all been there, and I think for me, it's you constantly have that fear of the unknown. And when you're walking by faith, that a lot of times where courage has to step in, where you're scared, you don't know what's going to happen, but you still walk in that direction. You still take action regardless of not knowing the end results. But I think for everyone, and I'm no different, I had to have that transformation where I said, for me, it was broke Johnny to woke Johnny. And I had to make that transformation mentally to go through and understand that the knowledge, that everything that brought me to that certain point in my life, that in order to get here to be woke Johnny, that I was gonna have to change who I was, everything that I known up to that point, because in order to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve, I had to become another person. Because
Yeah.
if I could do it as I was then, I would already have done it. But that was the biggest thing, to know that I could do it, and then two, that I was gonna have to change. And success leaves a roadmap. It's proven that a lot of people, you can do certain things and get successful. And I tell people, it's like, hey, if you show me the 5 people that you're around, you're gonna be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so for me, I had to start getting in the room with millionaires because I wanted to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And soon after that, over the next couple of years, it happened. That you got to be around people that are doing the things that you want to do. And I think once I kind of took on that mindset, that a lot of the fear went behind, the limiting beliefs about money, about my own abilities, the limiting beliefs about, my family history, I wasn't smart enough, or, because of where I came from, because I came from Alabama, and people make fun of you because you talk different, or you grew up on dirt roads and all that kind of stuff. Like, man, that stuff don't care. People don't care about that. When you get in the room with people that are moving the needle and trying to be successful at the same thing that you want to, like, people are naturally going to help you be there. And so I
Yes.
encourage people, you got to find a tribe of people that are going to encourage you and motivate you, because the world is going to beat you down. You got all this negative news and everything that's going to tell you why the economy is in a down market, interest rates are high. So what? That doesn't matter. All that matters is making offers and getting that next deal under contract, and being creative in how you're going to make it work. And I think once people get that tenacity and that grit, and know that, hey, I got to do this for my family, and they have that burning why, and understanding that life is short, and that we got to take advantage of every moment, that they get clarity, and you move behind those limiting beliefs eventually. But it takes time, and it's scary as hell to get through it. And but that's why you got to be around like-minded people to encourage you, that's been there, done that can resonate with you on that journey and help you move along.
That's good, Johnny. That's awesome. And you talked about fear and this scariness. Right now, we're all hearing about the economy and how bad it's turning, and inflation and all recession and all these things that are being put out there in the media. I know for a fact, from my 34 years of experience as an entrepreneur, when times like this come, this is when the biggest opportunities exist in life. This is where most multimillionaires and billionaires are created, is typically when there's a downturn. The reason why is we know this, and it frustrates me that so many people, instead of going by what they know, they go by what they feel. Oh my God, I need to hold back. I need to not get into this. Talk about that from your perspective, because you're kind of increasing right now your business in the middle of this downturn. Talk about that.
Well, I think that's one of the big things, that you hit the nail on the head, that a lot of people get caught up in the negative news. We just did the biggest acquisition that we've done to date. And in a down market, recession, high interest rate environment, but the large portion of this deal was 100% financed by the owner. We didn't even have to put money down. We got paid money from the deposits, and for half of the first month's rent, the rent for the half the month, that had to come to us for the asset. And we're talking, a 56 unit apartment building. And that's the thing that I think people, you got to get past the limited belief, the news and everything, because it's deals out here to be made. It's people out here that's living their life to the fullest, and we get caught up in that cycle. And so for me, it's like, how do I go faster? Because you read about the Rockefellers, Trump, all these successful people, and you pick an industry, real estate, big business, that a lot of people made their millions, like you said, during these recessions. That this is the time. I think it's Warren Buffett says, when there's blood in the streets, is the time that he buys. That people sit back that are astute. They look for these opportunities because everything's on sale.
Pennies on
And
the dollar.
yeah, everything is on sale. And guess what? Your competition's on the sideline because they're scared. Now you're in the marketplace, you're adding value, and now you're able to negotiate some great deals. People are scared, sellers are scared. They're like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm like, well, you use it to your advantage. They're seeing the news now, they're scared. They're like, hey man, I can only pay you 50% of what the property is worth now because nobody else is buying. I'm like, hey, this is what I can pay for. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Here, take it. I don't want it. And so that's the thing. It's all about mindset
Yeah.
and knowing how to, but you got to have the knowledge in order to take advantage of the opportunities, be able to see opportunities. Because if you don't have the knowledge, you won't even know what a good deal looks like when it presents itself. And that's the thing that now that I think next year is going to be one of the best years to build wealth and gain assets. But now is the time to build that knowledge up, to build that confidence in yourself and your skill set in order to be able to see those opportunities and go and make those opportunities happen.
I love that. And with the final few seconds we have on this second video, we're going to do one more video after this. I want you to speak directly to the audience. So here are these people and they're contemplating, they're thinking, they're really just in their head, they're going through, man, should I really invest in Johnny? Should I really get this money and spend it? Well, first and foremost, they're not spending money with you, they're investing money. And I want to make sure people understand that. When you invest, you're expecting a return on your investment. When you spend, there's nothing coming back to you. So you're not spending. This is not an expense. This is an investment. So someone is thinking, man, why should I invest with Johnny? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I think the what they need to think through is that they're invested in themselves. They're not invested in me. That they got to choose to do this for themselves, because at the end of the day, they got to stand up and look in the mirror and deliver and show up every day to implement the information that I'm going to give them. That it's an investment in themselves, and if they don't believe in themselves, then yeah, this isn't the right program for them. But I think if Forbes early in this year, they released an article said that the average house flipper makes between 40 and 70,000. So, and that's the thing that I tell people is like, if you take the information that I'm giving you and you do 2 deals, we'll say 80,000. So right now, at the time of this recording, my program is $6,000 for the 16-week accelerator. So by not doing my program, 80,000 minus the 6,000 that you have spent, by not taking action, it's costing you $80,000 a year for you not taking action and doing what you could be doing right now, learning this skill set. So, we're looking at the price of what the investment is to get the information, but the real question is, what's the price by not taking action and not doing it? You're costing yourself $80,000 every year by not doing 2 deals a year.
Well, shoot, you just took away the third video, because you literally addressed what I was going to talk about in the third video is, what does your program actually do and what's the investment? And then what would happen if someone doesn't invest a year from now? And one of the things I love that you said is, so many times we're only focusing on why should we take an action, right? Very few people think to themselves, what happens if I don't take this action? And I love that example that you gave. $80,000 is a lot of money. I don't care who you are. Right. And to know that just 2 deals that you help someone with would get them that type of income, and they harp on it because they're afraid to invest 6,000, that math doesn't work. It just doesn't work, because most people are so accustomed to this trading time for dollars, and they don't realize, I don't care how much money you make, at the end of the day, you will only make so much as the time that you can put into it. And one of the things that I'm learning more and more, not just about you, but about millionaires and wealth, is you have to leverage. You have to leverage. That word is becoming so key and so important in my life. Leverage. It's about utilizing what's around you. It's not just one single resource. It's all the resources, so that money starts flowing to you without you having to trade your time for it. And that's true freedom.
100%, because that's the thing that I help people accelerate their journey. You can go figure it out, but it's going to take you too long to go try to figure it out by yourself. And that's where I come in to help accelerate that journey, where you don't make the mistakes that I made and others make, where we can streamline it. But and I get it, I've been there too. But that's the thing, when you trade your time for money, it's so hard to spend that money and release it, because you literally traded part of your life to get that money. You are giving up a portion of your life to invest. And that's the scary part with it. And I get it. There's been a lot of people, and unfortunately that's been burned by bad people. You got people that's out here selling stuff that they don't do, that they don't know the information. And I actually have people in my program who are like, hey, I lost $5,000 on this person, and all they did was help me get an LLC. And they wouldn't even pick up the phone when I called them. And it's a shame. But at the end of the day, you got to know that, hey, you're investing in yourself. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that that there's a better way out here. There's plenty of people out here that's millionaires doing real estate. It's not that they're smarter. They just got information that you don't have and that you have to get. You have to get the information.
I think people also need to start living by this concept. I never lose. I either win or I learn. When people say that, oh, I've lost money because, no, you didn't. You really didn't. You either won or you learned something. You learned something new. You learn what to look for, what to look out for, so that you don't make a bad investment. Because at the end of the day, people use this as an excuse. And almost every human being has had a bad relationship, right? Almost every human being, because the first relationship typically is not going to be the one. So are you going to stop trying for a better relationship because of this one bad one? Right? So people need to understand that excuses are going to get them absolutely nothing. And it's Nelson Mandela that said this, and I live by this creed. I never lose, ever. I either win or I learn. So I appreciate you, Johnny. I cannot express to people, if you are seriously considering changing your life forever, you need to invest with this man. He understands where you're coming from, because he came from there. So he also understands how to get you to where you need to be. The only thing you need to do is you need to give up and give out all of that negative stuff and literally become an open book, and then just take everything in. Any final words before we finish, Johnny?
That's it. That I encourage, I love to work with whoever, like that 96 unit, I just talk about it. And I talk about my star student, Reggie, that Reggie does the work. Reggie was a former police officer, and he found those 96 units, and we put that deal together. He didn't have to put any money in the deal, and he owns over 30% of 96 unit apartment building and the cash flow that's coming off of it. And that's the power. This stuff is life changing, but you got to make a decision, and you got to take it a day at a time, and show up and do the work. And next thing you know, that you wake up 2-3 years and you're a millionaire. If you put in the work, that's if you put in the work, not guaranteeing results for anybody, but if you put in the work, that the sky's the limit.
There you go, guys. You heard it here first. Thank you so much, Johnny. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.